The last time I played a platformer, I platinumed 4 games that PlayStation said were the best.
Whoa!
Now today, I'm gonna platinum 4 games that you all say are the best. So I went through the comments on that last video and picked out 4 platformers that you all commented. I'm going to get platinums on all 4 of them. And to start off the video, we're gonna go with what seems to be a favorite, and also one of the hardest, with an 8 out of 10 difficulty, Rayman Origins. So being that this is my first ever time playing Rayman, I had no clue what to expect. But right when the game starts up, we get introduced to Rayman and his bros all having a blast of a time. But apparently their music is too loud, which wakes up the living dead, and everyone ends up getting it handed to them and locked in a cage. And well, essentially that's the whole plot of the game. But that's where we come in to save the day and have to platform our way through a total of 66 levels. But we won't get too far ahead of ourselves just yet. And starting off on the very first level is where we'll also get our first trophy, called Batilla's Back, where we have to chase down this cage that she's locked in to free our first of many of these, well-endowed fairies, we'll say. Hey, first trophy, Batilla's Back. But every time we free one of them, we also learn a new move. And since this is only the first one, we just unlock attack now. But my next few levels were just spent trying to get a grip on this game. Because, well, just like every other platform I play, I am terrible when I first start. But I made my way through the first few levels and at least learned about the collectibles, like the Electoon cages in secret rooms, or that you have to get 350 lums per level to get the gold coins, which I ended up spending many hours wasting my time thinking I needed them all. But we'll get into that later. And eventually I got good enough to make it to this level, which is where my next trophy popped, called Pop Pop Boom, for popping a total of 50 of these bubble enemies like this. Hey, pop pop boom. And while we're on the topic of popping, that's what my next trophy is for as well. And eventually I made it to the next room and bubbleized 4 enemies at once to get this, the Bubbleizer. 3rd trophy. Now, to be able to get to the last level of each world, you have to have saved enough Electoons to be able to build a bridge to it. And well, luckily I was at least good at getting the collectibles and didn't have to go back for any. And in this level is also where I popped my next trophy for completing a whole level without taking a single hit. And I mean, I'd love to take all the credit here, but it's literally impossible to even get hit in this level since there isn't even a single enemy in sight. And after my nice free run all the way through to the end, here it is. Now, the last levels in these worlds are some of my favorite. You get to ride a mosquito through the whole thing. And to make it even better, he has a fully auto machine gun on his face. But it's not all fun, as we also have to take down this huge bird in the process. And no, he definitely did not inhale me right off the rip. Big demented angry bird. Oh my god, I just got inhaled. But I got him next time. There we go, there we go. Okay, I get it. Let's go. Got him. Okay, that was easy. Fumbled the first time. Now, sadly, beating the first world doesn't get me a trophy. But what does is getting our first of another collectible I didn't mention yet, called Skull Teeth. And these are a bit harder to get. Each world has one of these little bonus worlds off to the side, and they aren't just any normal world. For these, we have to chase down after this box in insane speedrun fashion. And I mean insane. You have to be super fast. If you're even offbeat by 1 second, then you're done. No, I died. Oh, man. No, I missed that jump again. There we go. Holy crap, come on. Don't let me die now. Holy crap, I did it. I did it. Let's go. Milk Tooth. So when I play platformers, I tend to 100% the world I'm on before I move to the next. But doing that is how I pop my next trophy, called I'm Back, for simply just replaying any level once. Then once I finished up with my cleanup of that first world, it was time for the next, called the Desert of Didgeridoos, which is, well, in the desert. And since this is the first level, it's also where we have to chase down our next nymph. And after a couple little mishaps while learning some of the new obstacles here, I eventually got fast enough to catch up to her and unlocked my next move. Oh, and also a trophy. Beautiful beats. But seeing as there's 66 levels in this game, there's not really a need to go over every single one, especially the easy ones. So to get into the reason this game is rated at an 8 out of 10 difficulty, we'll just skip through the first few worlds a bit. But before that, on literally the next level, I got 3 more trophies in a row. And the first one was just inevitable to end up getting. Crusher, for crushing a total of 50 enemies. And likewise with the second one as well, actually. It's for finding 10 of those hidden rooms and collecting the secret cages out of all of them. Now this third one I actually meant to get. As you can see here, my Rayman is blue, but it's just for completing a level with any other character's skin on. And I get this. B-side. So next I sped my way through the next few levels and started getting an understanding of why so many people hold this game in such high regard. From these crazy flying levels to these absolutely insane snake levels that were honestly so much fun to do. And having unlimited lives and always having such close checkpoints is such a blessing compared to most games. But after the wild last mosquito level, I was finally on to the next world, which also means it's time to free another nymph. And I'm not gonna lie, this one put me to the test. Getting used to the ice was quite the change for me. You know, coming from the desert and all. But here's how I beat it. Feed the fairy. And for our new power, we get to change size to fit through small areas like so. And my next hour was spent working my way through these painfully slippery ice levels, chopping down blocks, getting chopped down by blocks. But what do you know? After a bunch of ice levels, we have some piping hot levels too. Literally though, that's the name. And this is where I really started to see the difficulty of this game. I was having troubles even just getting through the levels in general. I mean, I died way too many times just getting through them. But I've got plenty more deaths ahead of me. So skipping over to the next trophy, we have Blue Baron, which is for beating our next boss fight in 60 seconds, which I did not know was even a trophy and just happened to get it on the first try. Okay, you got me. It was the third try. But here's how easy it was. Here we go. Where's the other side? Let's go. That was super easy. Blue Baron. So now we're on to World 5, the Sea of Serendipity. And right off the bat, I ended up getting another unintentional trophy for killing every dark-tuned wizard in this level, called this. No panic, hey. And alongside it in the same level, we of course have our next power to unlock. And unlike the last, I was able to chase this cage down a lot easier and got it first try to unlock these. Mermaid. Oh, there we go. Now I can swim. So now that we can go underwater, you can probably guess that that's where every single level in the next world takes place. And obviously that changes the game up a whole lot. Instead of platforming, we now have swimming and dodging, which well, didn't pan out too good sometimes. But I navigated my way through the deep dark oceans, dodging all of these weird ass spiky things. And after an hour of these levels, I was finally on the last one, which is also where I got my next trophy. All I had to do was inhale 50 enemies total with the mosquito to get it. Just like this. Let's go, I got it. Vacuum snack. Now there wasn't a boss fight for this last level, just this really wild mosquito ride where I had to stay in between the two while they're doing loop-de-loops around me. But I got that done, unlocking me the next world, Mystical Peak. And of course, right off the bat, I got another trophy. But this time on my way to the cage, I also ended up getting my 25th secret cage room and got this, Explorer. But then it was time to chase down the cage. And this one was kinda cooked, so I'll let you watch for yourself on how I finally got it. Nymph's Rock. Out on walls. I didn't expect that. That's awesome. That's the last power up, I'm pretty sure then. So now I started my climb through the levels to the top of the peak. Even got to use an elevator at one point. But I eventually came across these four perfectly lined up. And of course I had to get them all in one go. Let's go. First try. And it ended up getting me this. Crush combo. Hey, it got me a trophy too. Now the only thing stopping me from reaching the peak was this stupid section where you have to platform through the falling items. But since I need to speedrun every single level in the game later for a trophy, we'll be seeing this painful area again. Now I didn't know how many levels there was in this game, and I thought this was the end right here. I mean, it looks like it, but I was pleasantly surprised to find out of course it's not. And the nymphs unlock us 4 more worlds that we have to go through and save all of the kings from each. And since we don't have any more powers to unlock, we just have to get really good at using everything we've gotten so far. Like the first levels are for swimming, and I'm so good at it I got this. Fisher King. Nah, really, it's just a random trophy for swimming a certain amount of time. But these worlds are a lot harder than the last and take a lot longer. I didn't get through it for almost 2 hours. Maybe it's just because I suck. But to get the kings of these worlds, which in this case is this giant fat dragon, but we have to beat every single level collecting enough electoons to jump into the boss fight against them. Well, for this one, jump into his stomach to fight against him. But from there, he spits fire down. We have to run around the walls perfectly in time to dodge it. And also hit these big pink thingies while we're at it. And once I hit him enough times, this happens. Oh yeah, I got him. That was so close, I was one hit away from dying. Oh crap, I still gotta run out. Crap, why is it so dense? Oh, I don't think there's a speedrun trophy for that. It better not be. That's insane. Hey. He's just a tiny little guy now. But since it's been so long since I got a trophy, I decided to go back and collect some skull teeth before I went into the next one. Now, I won't really show the first few since they weren't too hard, but on my 5th one to get the trophy is when I had the real problems. If this one feels like it's never ending and has some very close corners to cut, leading me into about 20 minutes worth of deaths and retries. But let's just skip over to the final dub run to get the trophy. Oh my god, I finally fucking did it, man. Holy shit, I hate these things. Full mouth. Now we're off to Ticklish Temples. And I know I did these in a really weird order, but hey, whatever. And on my very first level here, I spotted a way to get another trophy I had seen on the list. Back at you, for killing a hunter with his own missile. Hopefully this gets me the trophy. Yes, it did. Back at you. Now, although these next few levels were definitely a challenge, there's way too many to go over them all. So heading into the next boss fight, here we have poor little Daisy, which is not really so little. And this one took me quite a while to get down. I mean, just getting into the level is hard. You have to run this whole crazy course first. But once I got there, here's how my first few runs went. Oh crap, I have to fight this motherfucker. What? Oh yeah, I can run a ball. I'm an idiot. Ah, what the? Now, after about 25 minutes of learning the routes for every wave, running over top fast as possible, or eventually learning I could run under, which really helped out a lot. Why am I trying to go over him? I can just go under him. I'm an absolute dumbass. That's so much easier. What am I doing? But that's when I finally got it down and defeated it, turning the king back into this tiny little flower. Now, boss fight number 3 was also pretty crazy. I mean, it didn't take me as long, but here's who it's against. Oh crap. Underwater dragon boss? What the? Now for this one, the dragon swims around and sends out these spiky worms, while I have to go in for the kill shot when a pink thing appears. But then the second wave, he starts doing these crazy figure eights throughout the area. And well, that just ruined me a few times. But the third wave is also the last one, so I'll let you see for yourself how it ends. And then he comes right here for the last one. Open up. Yes! Come on. Yes, I just beasted that. Now, I also got a trophy here. I mean, not for killing the boss, but for getting my 10th golden medallion. Electoon Friend. Hey, I finally got my 10th medallion. That took so long. But now there's only one single boss fight left before the absolute hardest levels to end the story. And after an hour of other painful levels, I finally made it there and found this big fella. Now this ended up being the easiest of the 4 actually, and ended up taking me only about 10 minutes. All I had to do was dodge a few times as he flew by, and I'd get my chance to swing in and get a hit. With his last wave being the spinning wind attack, and it ends like this. Please tell me that's the last hit. Yes, it is. Let's go. And with that, we unlock the actual last world of the game, which also has the absolute hardest and most painful levels of all. But first, we have to get the nymphs to open up a portal for us. Hocus pocus, focus, focus. So with that crazy spell out of the way, we get sent straight into the first level here, called Riding the Storm, which is literally exactly what we're doing here, riding a mosquito through a storm. Now, on top of the massive hordes of non-stop enemies, we also have clouds that shoot lightning at us, and it's also just preparing us for this next one, called On Top of Old Smoky, which is still in the middle of a thunderstorm, except in this one, we don't have no mosquito. All we have is our 2 feet and a heartbeat. Well, for the first half, that is. Then we have our good old flying hair to take us through the rest. And there's 2 spots I found absolutely atrocious here. The first is these damn clouds. Controlling the flying isn't the easiest thing there is in this game, but then there's also this damn flying up part with all the fish. And I mean, these parts were the downfall of my speedruns, especially this one. So we'll see these again soon. But that leaves one level before the final boss, called Mecha No Mistake. And trust me, I mecha a lot of mistakes. Main enemy here is these solid robots that only die by being thrown off cliffs or launched into saw blades. And then the worst of all is this big gear section that is terrible to run through. So I'll go through this more on the speedruns. But I ended up getting another trophy on my way to the end of this level. Sprinter for being a professional runner. I mean, it's just for running an unknown amount of time like the swimming one. And 10 minutes after that, we finally get to the reveal. Literally. And here we have Mr. Dark, who instantly sends us down a trap hole and straight into a boss fight against a robot. Now this is basically a mixture of a few different bosses. For the first wave, we have a platform course to get into this little area. And then once we're here, we have that big flower fight from before where we run in circles, which, well, I definitely had down by now after spending so long in that other one. And then the final wave was just that bird again, but in robot form, which I mean, also super easy. But only a couple deaths in and I beat them all. Then platformed my way back up to Buddy here and gave him a bit of a panic attack. But then he kind of distracts us with the dance party, and Rayman is all in for it. Then of course he takes off and we have our final chase. For the first half of this, we have a wild platform course going through everything that's falling, which was really fun, but also fairly easy. But then he hops into a flying pirate ship, so we grab our mosquito and head off to the end of the story, shooting down the pirate ship. And then just like that, everything goes back to normal. Right back where we started. And since the credits were super long, I ended up flying around a bunch and racked up 1 hour of flight time for this. Pretty crazy timing if you ask me. But now to go through the last few trophies, which includes the rest of the skull teeth, a whole lot of speedruns, every hidden cage in the game, and some medallions. But first I grabbed a few easier ones to get them out of the way, like hyperspeed for sprinting an entire level, and for it I just used one of the easy bridge levels and had to hold down run from before I started the mission to all the way when the mission ends, and then it pops. Let's go, I got it. Next up, I had to take a quick dip with some piranhas without getting bit, just like this. Oh, did I just do it? Does that count? Yes, I did do it. Okay, there we go, Survivor. And for the third and final easy one, I had to whip out my crazy moves and get this combo on an enemy. Kung Fu combo. Now I decided to go for the remaining 5 skull teeth. And at this point, I was pretty good at the game, if I say so myself. And I whipped through this crazy first one in less than 5 minutes. Likewise with the first few others. But the last 2 were a bit more cooked. This one because of all the tight ropes and close ass spikes everywhere. Oh, and can't forget about the underwater part. That sucked. But the very last one is the real problem. There's not much clearance here at all. Every jump has to be 100% perfect. From tiny little jumps to big jumps. It's baffling how crazy this one is. And I ended up being stuck here for a good half an hour on repeat. Even though the level isn't that long compared to others. But here's when I actually got my final run and got my final skull tooth. And also my trophy. Yes, yes! Screw you, skull teeth, let's go! Damn. The jaw. Alright, now there's something I didn't mention before. There's one more level left, the actual hardest of all, and this one is on a whole different level. With all the skull teeth, we're now allowed to enter this new area called the Land of the Livid Dead. Now, although this is only one level, it took me half an hour just to beat the first part of it. It is absolutely insane. And after that huge atrocity, we have this area as well, with fire shooting at us from every single area possible. And of course the checkpoints are super rare here too. But after a good half an hour of yelling and dying, and when I finally thought I was done, I run into this area. What the heck? Is this the final boss fight? What do I gotta do? Not that. That's not what I gotta do. And it indeed was the very final boss fight. And I can sadly say that this took me another 20 or so minutes to figure out. But skipping all the antics, here's how I beat it. Let's go, let's go. Let's go. Is that it? Is that it? Yes. Oh my god. Let's go, let's go. Nothing lasts forever. Holy shit, I thought there was gonna be a third one. That was such a hard level. That took me 55 minutes. And looking at the trophy list right after, I also found another easy one I could grab quickly to get out of the way. All I had to do was bounce across a total of 11 enemies in a row, like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Let's go, boing, boing, boing. And after that, I had to go back through every single level in the game and get every single secret cage room. But I was mostly collecting them throughout the game, so that made it a lot better. I didn't have many to grab, but getting them all gets me this. It was also around this time that I started going through every level collecting 350 lums per to get the gold coins, which is what I thought the gold medallions were for the trophies. But it turns out that I still don't know what gold medallions are because I didn't need any of those gold coins. And after completing the speedruns, I get gold medallions as well, I guess. I don't know. If someone could explain in the comments, that would be dope. But after wasting a few hours, I eventually started my speedruns and got my 25th gold medallions after one of them for this. And considering I was playing the speedruns in order from the beginning, the first ones were very easy, getting them all mostly on the very first try. But after I beat my first 5, I got this trophy. Now all that's left is to complete every speedrun in the game, and the platinum will come with it. But I mean, there is a lot of levels to do. So I started pushing my way through them all, flying through some of them and struggling with some others, but overall succeeding and making my way through at a good pace. And around the halfway mark, I ended up getting another trophy for finishing 15 of them. And here's that run. Oh yeah, I'm getting it right now. Definitely getting the trophy. Let's go. These speedruns are exactly how I thought they'd be. I'm not excited for the last ones, man. They're gonna be such pain. There we go, turbo. But I had enough for that day and ended up giving it a break. But the next day, I was back and more ready than ever for this platinum. So I started grinding my way through all of the hardest levels in the game, speedrunning every single one. And honestly, most of the times in this game are pretty lax. I mean, yes, some of them are tight, but for the most part, they definitely aren't too demanding. But since the mosquito levels aren't required at all, that makes it a lot easier. And well, just to jump into the craziest of all, I say we run through the very last 3 of them, starting with the abominable Golly G Golem, which is the one with the falling parkour I talked about before. And once I was able to figure out the first one, I still had 2 more fat sections to go through, but I'll let you watch how I finished it. On to the last 2 for the platinum. Let's go. Now, surprisingly, that's also the fastest one I did, with the last 2 totaling about half an hour non-stop on each. The first up being the lightning one. And well, I feel like I talked about this one enough earlier. So here's how it went down. Oh, come on, this is it. Yes, it is. Yes, let's go. One more to go. And then up very last to finally get this crazy platinum is Mecha No Mistake again, with a solid 2-minute and 10-second run to get down. And considering I could barely beat this with unlimited lives, I did not know how I was going to do it with 1. But I was fully determined to finally beat this game, and I pushed on and on, learning the routes, fighting through robots, and worst of all, getting stuck on these stupid gears. I didn't even make it to the end once. Well, that is until I finally had gotten enough practice in using every skill I've learned throughout the whole game, putting it all to use, and got my final run right here. Oh, I did it. Oh my god, I did it. Holy shit, I did it. Oh, and I was 16 seconds shorter than the gold. Let's go. Nitro. Does this give me the platinum too then? Yes, Electoon Legend, it does. Holy crap, sweet dreams. Let's go. Oh, this game was awesome, but it was so hard. Now, I was kind of put off at first by that 8 out of 10 difficulty, but I really don't think that it's that hard of a game. More of a 6 out of 10 for me, I'd say. Definitely an amazing platformer though. But hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, maybe hook up a like down below. Maybe even subscribe, because I might have another Rayman video planned very soon. But now moving into the second game, where we have another amazing one with multiple requests. Ratchet and Clank. So the only time I've ever played a Ratchet game is a year ago when I platinumed the newest one, but I figured I should start at the very beginning, so I went with the very first game they made. And right when it starts, we see Ratchet working on a ship, but at the same time, Clank is in a space battle and ends up being shot down landing on our planet. So of course our first task is to go find our new pal, and right away he scares the crap out of Ratchet.
Interesting.
Interesting. But then we get to see our main nemesis of the game, Chairman Drek.
Hello.
And in this video, he tells us about how his planet is dying, so now he's going to blow up our planet and add the pieces of it to his to fix it. Sounds pretty wild. But with that, Ratchet and Clank team up to head off and save all the planets in the galaxy. So I made my way through the first few planets, just getting a good understanding of how the game worked, of course, which after an hour eventually brought this across my path. Oh, wait, is that a new gun?
Sweet!
The suck cannon. Hey, first trophy, finally. Very sucky. Now I had what felt like a very slow start to this game, mostly because the trophies are just too far apart from each other. I mean, my next one wasn't for another 3.5 hours of gameplay, so my bad if I'm skipping over a lot, because there is just way too much in between to go over everything. I mean, I was literally on my 10th planet already. I also don't like looking through the trophy list until I've actually played the game for a while, just so I can get more of a feel for the game and not ruin anything for myself. But I guess doing that could have helped. But I was really enjoying the game otherwise, and having a great time with it, making sure to get enough bolts and buy all the weapons along the way. And looking back, I was sure taking my time killing every single enemy along the way too. But that next trophy I got was actually an accident. I was making my way through this path blowing up all of these ships and ended up getting it for destroying every single one, fittingly called Destroyed. But things started to pick up from there, and right after that I ended up going to planet Orxon, which is the first time I got to play as Clank only. And I do gotta say, I love the little minion parts. Sending them to attack enemies is pretty awesome. But getting through to the end of that world gets me a nice shiny pair of Magna boots, which also pops this up, Lombax Magnetic. And after finishing up what I could on that level, I unlocked my next planet and was having a great time doing this mission where you fly around in a jet shooting missiles, when all of a sudden my game crashed. But luckily everything saved though, including completing that mission somehow. But going through that planet also gets me the O2 mask, which is exactly what I needed to go back to Orxon as Ratchet to get my next trophy, Hit Me More, for buying this premium nanotech, which gives me permanent extra health, which is pretty damn amazing to get because I was starting to struggle a little bit getting through the levels with only 3 hits. But as soon as I was done there, I was off to Planet Hoven, where right off the bat while I was exploring around, I ended up being swarmed by what seemed to be non-stop enemies. And little did I know at the time, but killing them all gets me my next trophy. Holy crap, these guys never end. Damn. Pest control? Oh, what? I get a trophy for that? That's awesome. So I made my way through the rest of this icy planet and ended up finding this guy with a broken drill.
Oh, heck.
And once Ratchet fixes it for him, he tosses us a piece of rare Ratanium, which is exactly what I needed to bring to this inventor back on another planet.
You will bring me more raritanium.
And he gives me the Persuader, which makes every weapon in the game cheaper, but also unlocks this. These are not the droids you're looking for. And with that, we get to head off and take down Ratchet's idol turned nemesis, Captain Quark, which involves a really cool space fight where I had to shoot down his ship the whole time. I mean, a couple meteor crashes, but nothing major. No. And I just barely beat him in the end, with both of us being on 1 hit. Oh, he dies. No health left. There's nothing. No, that was so close. Come on. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I didn't want to redo that. Let's go. All quirked up. Let's go. But now that I had a full understanding of the game, I decided to look through the list and go back for a couple trophies I could have gotten along the way. And the first is on Eudora for just shooting down a bunch of vehicles flying around. Just like this. There, is that it? Yep, it is. Vehicle Bombardier. And then 2 more I got quickly were both on the same planet. One was for parkouring up to a high point and then flying my way down to stand in between the statue's legs for some reason. Strike a pose. And then the second was for simply just destroying this robot Captain Quark right at the beginning of the level. Quark-tastic. But the next few took me a bit longer. Like once I got to Oltanis, there's a total of 22 street lamps throughout the map, and I had to go around and find every single one of them to destroy them. And I guess I wasn't supposed to do this yet, because none of my weapons could even reach the very last one. No, it explodes just before it. But then out of nowhere, this happened. That's insane. There's no way. Oh, how did it? It just exploded itself randomly. What the heck? Let's go. Vandal. I'll take it, man. That's lucky. And after the 10 minutes of me being horrible, dying over and over on this parkour part of this map, I ended up finding our old buddy working as a salesman, pretending to be someone else.
The name's Steve.
Yes, we really shook him. But then I went back for another trophy called Sitting Ducks. And this one is on the Gremlik base. I had to explode a bunch of these parked ships around the map, but the last one is at the end of the level. And since the door doesn't open to go back that way, I had to go through the whole level over again, all to blow up one single last ship to get this. Damn, level had to go through the whole thing over again. Sitting Ducks. Let's go. But before moving on to the next, I gotta mention how awesome using the gigantic Clank is, just stomping around and smacking through everything is always fun. But then I flew over to the next planet and went through this fun grind course, which we'll be seeing again later to get my last skill trophy. But eventually I came across my next hoverboard race, which is how I'll be getting the trophy Magician for scoring a total of 4,500 points, which didn't start out too well considering I didn't even know you could do tricks yet. But once I did finally learn that you could, I busted out a bunch of crazy moves throughout the race and I just barely scraped past the 4,500 I needed. Just look at this. Oh, come on, 200. I don't know. How am I going to get 200 points right here? Oh, I did it! I did it! Right at the last second. Magician, let's go. And since I was already at it, I figured I should go back to the first hoverboard race and get the trophy from there as well. And instead of points, this one is a time challenge where we have to get through all 3 laps in a minute 35 seconds. And it only ended up taking me about 15 tries. Yeah, 5 seconds off. I got this now. All I had to do was learn all the big corner cuts and jumps, and eventually I got this good rundown. Oh, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Come on. Yes! Yes! By 0.14 seconds. Let's go. Speedy. Oh, also there's a crazy trick you can do called the Twisty McMarks for pressing every direction in one trick. And once done correctly, it gives me this. Twisted hoverboard. Then back into the main story I went, and was having some really painful times trying to get through this here planet where you get to hide as a robot. I think it was mostly just because I'm impatient though. But once I got through the rest of there, we ended up narrowing down Drek's location, unlocking us our next place. Drek's Fleet, which is also where I unintentionally got this trophy right off the rip. Right when you spawn, you have to swim down to continue through, and you also get a timed area here. But the real challenge I did is dodging every single one of these spinning blades and lasers to get through to the end without taking a single hit, which I somehow did right here on my first try. Holy crap, I did that without even getting hit once. Oh, and a trophy. Careful cruise. And while I thought getting through the robots on that last level was pain, this one was way worse. So much so that I spent 20 minutes trying to get through and just kept dying every single time. And then right when I was going to give up, I realized that I had 30,000 bolts, which is exactly what I needed to go back and buy even more health. So you best believe I rushed right over there and spent it all. Here we go, buy Ultra Nanotech. This is gonna be so much nicer with more health. Nano this. 8. Damn. So now with my 8 health, I felt invincible. And I went right back to run through the level and did it like nothing. I think it gave me a confidence boost if anything. But after another one of those awesome fighter jet levels, and without my game crashing this time either, so double bonus. But after that, we finally end up finding Drek. Or not, turns out we have one more planet to go to, Veldin, which is also where I'll get Going Commando, which is for killing 10 elite guards using only my wrench, just like this. There we go, did I get it? Yes I did, Going Commando. Oh, and also this, which is for getting 15 skill points, which are tied to a lot of trophies. But with that out of the way, I made my way through and finally came across Drek, where we throw on the super suit and smack him around a bit. But that brings us to the real fight on foot. Now I gave this a couple tries at first, but the damage my weapons did was absolute buns, and it wasn't getting me very far. I mean, this one was the furthest I had made it, and it took me about 10 minutes of shooting just to get there. And well, it just ended like this. Now, I didn't have enough money to keep purchasing ammo, nor did I have enough to buy the best weapon in the game. So I decided now would be a perfect time to go get Bolt Collector for collecting 1 million bolts total. But first, I decided to go turn a chicken into a tank quickly to get another trophy. There we go. Cluck cluck. Now I did know about the Bolt trophy, so I was collecting as many as I could throughout the whole playthrough. But little did I know, if you actually want to get them legit, it's either play through the game 10 times or farm boxes for weeks. And well, both of those sound absolutely terrible. So I did what everyone else does and set myself up in this glitch to get unlimited bolts. I mean, after the 20 painful minutes of me miserably failing to get through the glitch, but eventually I got myself situated and velcroed my analog stick up just like this, set a Family Guy case on top of the circle button, and just let her rip. Then I went and did whatever for about 6 hours, and when I came back, I had barely moved up, so I just said whatever and left it overnight. And when I woke up, I had way more than I could ever need. There we go. I may have left it on a bit too long and got 1.6 mil. It's way more than we need, but whatever. Yes, there it is. Collect 1 million bolts. I guess it picked up the pace somehow, but with that trophy out of the way and all my new riches, I can now buy the best gun in the game, the Rhino. Ultimate animal. And with that, I took my new missiles right back to Drek. Right away, I realized they are way too OP. So I got through the first half using only my other weapons until I completely ran out of ammo, which was right around here. And then I switched over to this absolute beast. And well, from there, the fight was over in about 20 seconds. Is there another stage still, or is that it? Oh, he's getting catapulted. And just to be absolutely sure he's done for, we blow up the whole planet he's landed on, ending the game. And once all the credits are done, this pops up. Direct this. But as you can see here, I still need gold bolts, gold weapons, and some more skill points. The first thing I needed was to buy my very last gun, the Tesla Claw. This should be the very last weapon I need right here, the Tesla Claw. Yeah, it is. Gadgeteer, let's go. But now time to get back into those skill points, and I needed 14 more of them. And some of them don't have trophies, but most of them do. Like the first one, for just shooting down one of these super fast ships on this planet. Oh, I hit it. That's crazy. Hey, and it gets me a trophy. Take aim. Which is also exactly what the next one is for as well. Just on a different planet though. Transported. But they aren't all that easy. The next one I had to go back to was this boss fight against the alien queen. But I had to kill her using only my wrench. And well, here's how that went down. I got the method down now. Oh. Okay, yep, I just jumped right into the edge. That's cool. But I got it down anyways. I got this. There we go. Last phase. I got this. Just gotta get rid of those two little guys and I'm good to go. Let's go. There we go. I got this. Oh no, I shouldn't have thrown that one. It was too tight. Oh, I still did it. One more hit. Come on, let's go. There we go. Girl trouble. Now the next one wasn't the easiest either. I had to take a sand mouse from here and guide it all the way to a tank and get it to blow it up. But they only have a certain amount of time before they disappear. And some of the tanks are really far away. But after 15 minutes of bringing them back and forth, I finally got the last one. Go sand mouse, go destroy it. No, not them. Stop shooting them. Shoot the tank. Stop shooting them. Shoot the tank. Thank you. There you go. Boom, kaboom. Yes, skill point. Let's go. Pop that trophy. Eat lead. And now that brings us back into the easy ones, like simply shooting an enemy through this hole. Simple enough. There we go, skill point. Sniper. And in the exact same area, I also had to lure one of these dummies into running into the electric gate, just like this. Hey, over here. And the only skill point left with the trophy is this one, where I had to swim around this planet and destroy every underwater box. And I expected there to be some really hidden ones, but they were all just out in the open, making it very easy to get this. Buried treasure. And then after a few I didn't record since they don't get trophies, I was on to the final one to get the 30th. Oh no, I have to do this whole thing without getting hit once all the way to the end. And as soon as I realized that instead of jumping over everything, I could just blow it all up along the way, I got them all down on my first try, and here's how I finished it. Holy crap, that one was close. What the heck? Yes, I did it! There we go, that should be the trophy. Skillful! Let's go, all skill points done. Now that only leaves two things left to do. Gold bolts and gold weapons. And to get the weapons, I need the bolts. So that's what's first. And I needed 31 more. So I spent my next couple hours watching guides and running through every single planet, collecting all the ones left. And well, I mean, they're all just hidden around. What else is there to say about it? But here's the last one. Last gold bolt right there. Let's go. Unless I missed one, this should be it. Yes, Bolt Commando, let's go. And for the very last trophy now, all I had to do was defeat Drek again really quickly and start a new game plus, essentially. And as soon as I get to the second planet, I have a brand new teleporter right here. Oh wow, I thought I was gonna have to play for a lot longer. Teleport to gold weapons room, here we go, platinum time. Oh, the golden Tesla Claw, that's sick. And last one, here we go. Ratchet King Midas. Gadget Master the Platinum. Let's go, man. What a great platformer, though. I was off to a slow start, but as soon as I got into the game, I couldn't stop playing. And I loved the relationship between Ratchet and Clank. Absolutely hilarious. So I'll most likely be getting some more Ratchet Platinums in the future. But now it's time for game number 3. So originally I was planning on doing this fourth, but I ended up really needing a break from the painful last game. So next up, we got Spyro the Dragon. Now I grew up playing Spyro and absolutely love these games. And it's been about 2 years since I've beaten this game, so I was super happy to do this. But it starts off with instantly meeting our nemesis.
Nasty Nork is a simple creature.
Simple?
He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom.
No threat?
Besides, he is ugly.
Ugly? That does does it?
And well, those insults were his last straw. He cast this spell turning all the dragons into stone. Well, all except one. So this game is a very straightforward and simple platformer. To complete each level, we just have to collect every gem that's laying around, as well as freeing every dragon out of the stone, and that will get us our 100% level complete. But this is also just the hub level of this world, with another 5 more to go. And opening one of those levels is actually how I got my first trophy, for hopping on all of these stones to unlock it. Hop, skip, and jump. First trophy. Now this is also the very first flying level, but before getting into it, I got another trophy right at the start of the level. And boing! Barnstormer. So the way these levels work is there's 4 different items we have to collect, with a total of 8 each all around the map. And once we get them all in one single go, that's the level 100%. Now although there isn't another trophy here, once I go to my next level, I ended up lighting this fire and got this. Light my fire. So each world has a total of 6 levels that you have to go through. 1 hub level, 1 flying level, and 3 platforming levels. And flying over to this secret ledge in one of them is how I got my next trophy. Leaf on the wind. But there's also a boss fight level for each world, with the first one by the name of Toasty. And all I had to do was chase him down to toast him a few times. And since I didn't get hit once, it pops this trophy. Burnt toast. And now with that last level complete, I can now make my way to the Peacekeeper's world by taking this balloon ride, which gets me yet another trophy. Boom. And as soon as I land here, I ran into these guys, showing me their cheeks. But I can't let that slide, so I went and shot him with a whole cannon. You're done, bud. Shoot the moon. Now I also got another 5 trophies while making my way through this world. First was for accidentally charging this vulture head on, and I got this. Bird brained. And in the next level after that, I found this key. And once I bring it to this chest, it unlocks and pops me this. And for the next one, I was out in the desert here, and I had to flame every single vulture that flew at me. And once I get every single one of them throughout the whole level, I get this. And with that, we're off to the next flying level. And these are probably honestly the only somewhat hard part of the game. I mean, I only failed it twice. But once I got it done, I had to come back really quickly for my next trophy, which is just for burning all these fairies holding the arrows around the map, like this. There we go. Hot Wings 1. Hot Wings. And then for the final one in this world, we have Triathlon, which I got for killing all of these skiing Norks around. So I mean, it just comes naturally. Now before the next place, I had one more trophy back on the first world I missed. Sheep Kebab, for burning a sheep. But world 3 is called the Magic Crafter's World. And of course there's a trophy within the first 20 seconds of the level. It's for lining up these 4 enemies and smashing through all of them at once. Coming through! And we also have another 5 trophies to get in this world. And the first one on Alpine Ridge was super easy. I just had to light these 3 fireworks. And well, maybe fall off the ledge. But it gets this. Pops to the dots. And I got killed. Now this next one is where I think they ran out of trophy ideas. It's just for collecting every single gem in the level. And I get this. Which I mean, you're supposed to do that anyways. But over in the next level high caves, there's these crazy spiders that can't be hurt by Spyro. Well, that is until we get a kiss from this fairy. Ooh, got a kiss. There we go. Can go kill these spiders now. Oh, or they can kill me. But with that, we now have Super Flame and can take them all out. And after doing so, I get this one. Let's go, Arachnophobe. Now this next one involves another collectible I hadn't mentioned yet. Dragon eggs. These annoying little thieves have them and they run away while laughing at you as soon as you get close. But for the final trophy in this world, we just have to light some more fairies in the next flying level. And we get this. Hot Wings 2. But now headed into the Beastmaker's world. And while this place has some of the harder trophies in this game, I mean the first 3 were easy, like finding some hidden mushrooms and flaming them, or in this level I had to light all 3 fireworks here in 50 seconds. Super hard stuff. There it is, Rocketeer. And number 3 was just for freeing a chicken. Now for this next flying one, I had to complete the whole thing in one go without touching the ground once, which I surprisingly only failed once. But even with a couple close calls on my second try, I still ended up pulling it off. Yes, I did it! I believe it is time for me to fly. And then we have this wild level, Treetops. There's a bunch of speed ramps all around you have to use to get to higher places. And after I use every single one of them, I get this trophy. Launch date. But the real problem here isn't for a trophy. It's just getting the 100% on this level. You have to do some crazy jumps all around from place to place to do it properly. And while I had to YouTube a guide, which is where I found this hilarious comment that sums it up perfectly. Developers, it's just a simple child's game. Also the devs, let's put a dragon in an impossible to reach part of the level that you have to navigate a 90-degree turn, an annoyingly winding hallway, go through a random door in another hallway full of other completely identical doorways, round another blind 90-degree turn, over a gap, through a narrow archway, and then over a ramp that launches you over a 30-foot gap into a completely obscure part of the level that you would never be able to find unless you had prior knowledge of, all while going 900 miles per hour, which I think sums this up perfectly, and also absolutely killed me when I read it, so shout out to that guy. But the only level left in this world is Metalhead, and to defeat this guy, all I have to do is destroy these power thingies throughout a few rooms and he's done for. But once I get every single gem out of the 500 in this level, I get the last trophy of this world. Gems in the rough. And that finally brings us into the second last world, the Dreamweavers. And of course we instantly have another trophy to get in the hub world, which is for bashing 3 of these guys in a row when they turn little, which didn't work out too well the first time. Fool's errand. And honestly, the other trophies were beyond easy to get, such as bad doggies for just flaming these dogs, or for this one I had to charge through 4 puffer birds, all puffed up. But this next one took a bit longer, but only because I had to get a kiss from this fairy and then go back through to destroy every single one of these armored guys with my super flame. And in the next flight level, I had to do the exact same as the last one, where I didn't touch the ground once. But this one ended up being even easier yet, and well, I got it done on my very first try. Bringing us to the last trophy of this world, where all I had to do was fly through all 4 enemies here just like so. And now we're onto the very final world with the last few levels, Nasty's World. And the first world had a pretty annoying trophy. It has to be completed without killing a single rat for health. And I tried to do it while getting the 100%, but I mean, of course that didn't work out. So I just hopped back into it and speed ran through the whole thing right through to the end, just zooming past enemies. And once I finished it, I got this. And then World 2 has some hidden gear collectibles laying around. And well, luckily I remembered where they all were from the last time I 100% this game. What really grinds my gears. But now we can finally confront Nasty Nork head on and beat the game. And after chasing these key thieves around to unlock the next area, we finally find him. But I couldn't just kill him right away. To get my next trophy, I had to make him get some exercise in and run a full 5 laps around. There we go, dragging on and on and on. But with that out of the way, I chase him down and give him one nice hit just to finish him off.
You're toast, Nork.
Now there's only 2 things left to do. One is free our very last dragon to fully 100% every level in the game. I'm in the money, yes sir. And now that unlocks the very last world, which is a really fun level where you get to progress your way up taking all of Nasty's gems. And the higher you get, the higher you can fly. And once I get to the very tippy top, we find Nasty's little cave and head on in to get the platinum trophy. Order. Let's go. There it is, the platinum. I absolutely love Spyro and I was super happy to do this. But now it's time for game 4, which was absolutely the most torturous and agonizing game for me. Now I wanted to do another more difficult game, so I made a poll with 2 really popular games I had heard of, and you all chose Cuphead. And with a 7 out of 10 difficulty and an expected 30 hours for the platinum, I figured it couldn't be that bad. But oh boy was I ever wrong. I have no experience playing anything like this in my life. I had never even seen gameplay before, so let's get into why this took me over 40 hours to finally get the platinum. So after I go through the intro and get introduced to the devil and the fact that we owe him a huge gambling debt, I ended up going into the very first level I seen, which ended up being this run and gun. And well, it ended up going pretty terrible for a while, amounting to me dying for about 20 minutes straight. What the fuck? Until I finally ripped through it and moved on to my first boss fight, which will also bring me to my first trophy, called Taking Names. And for my first, I ended up going with Goopy. And well, you can definitely say I was having some rough times getting to understand the mechanics. Especially here when I got to the last phase for the first time. Holy crap. Oh, did I get him? Did I kill my first boss? Wait, what? But after a total of yet again 20 minutes, I finally had it down and beat my first boss fight. Oh, I did it! Taking Names, my first trophy, I beat the boss. What kind of game is this, man? Holy crap. Now I'm also going to beat this game using only stuff from the main game, meaning no DLC charms or weapons at all. But for boss 2, I ended up getting into my first plane fight, which I honestly did pretty good on and wasn't having too much trouble getting used to it. I mean, not yet anyways. I ended up being terrible at these. But I even got my next trophy here for hitting 20 parries. Oh, parry persistence. And within the first 10 minutes, I ended up beating it on the very first time that I ever even got to the last wave. And well, here's how happy I was to do so. No! Oh, did I do it? Did I do it? Yes, I did it! Oh! And then after the painful half hour I spent collecting all the coins off the next run and gun level here, I was off to what was probably the easiest fight in the game for me. So easy in fact that even being the noob I am, I ended up beating it on my 3rd try and getting an A+ rank. Yes, I did it! Perfect run! Let's go! I knew I could do that one. And at the same time, I had also finished him off with a special move, resulting in me crossing this trophy off the list. But moving on through the fight after that was against these 2 frogs here, but I was able to get through that within a quick 20 minutes. And it unlocked my very first mausoleum. And thanks to a couple failures here, I ended up retrying it a few times and wound up with 100 parries. Parry performance. And then headed into the last boss fight to beat Isle 1. And I mean, surprisingly, I had only died twice here, with the second one being so close to the end. Oh no, a couple more hits would have been done, which hyped me up enough to speed through it directly on the next run. Which I mean, that's nothing how playing this game on expert goes later. I felt like I was playing a whole new game. I have to be so close. Yes, I did it! A walk in the park, what's that for? Defeat every boss in Inkwell Isle 1. Let's go! I also figured I'd cheese this other trophy quickly for just taking a shortcut here. There it is, cutting corners. Now I was trying to find Isle 2 and accidentally took this boat ride to the DLC. So I did unlock Miss Chalice, but I made sure not to use her until after the plat. But with that, I finally found out how to get to Isle 2 and I gave all my contracts to King Dice to get access. And this is where the heat really started to pick up. And I mean literally. So the very first soul I decided to go after here is Baroness von Bonbon, which is also the first time I hit the store and started using a new weapon, which was super effective of course, especially against these enemies. But even then I was still having troubles with the randomness of who popped out. Like if this cupcake dude popped out, I was screwed because I could just not kill him for the life of me. The candy corn screwed me sometimes as well, but after a solid 45 minutes I finally had it down, bringing me to fight number 2. Yes! Finally! Which I decided to go with this plane fight for some reason. And this is where my lack of skill really started to kick in. I ended up spending even longer than the last one, totaling to an hour here. A huge part was because of this, which looking back is pretty sad because this became so easy to do once I had it down. But this phase with the eggs was really the killer because no matter what, I would always lose a health here. And then going on to the last one, it was the exact same thing. No! But eventually on my winning run, I went through both phases with only a single health. And I mean, that made me feel pretty damn good. Oh, I finally did it. I finally did it. Yes! That took me like an hour. Holy crap. I even got an A-, saving me from having to come back to get it later for that trophy. But then I went in and finished up the mausoleum number 2, unlocking my next super art. And that leaves 3 bosses left here. And boy am I ever glad I saved that damn dragon into the end. But up first was Jimmy. And even though it was a plain one, it was still super easy for me with only about 15 minutes of retries. Which were mostly just because of this puppet wave kept screwing me over. But right after that was Beppy the Clown, which although a slight bit harder, only amounted to a 25-minute run. I just kept dying at the end to these damn little penguins throwing baseballs at me. What do penguins have to do with baseballs anyways? But on the last run when I got it down, I got sick of them, and I ended up just hopping down there and killed them all too, which is exactly what I needed to do to beat it. Yes, I did it! Oh, it's so satisfying once you actually finally get the full boss fight down, man. But then that leaves this actual abomination, and I'm not lying when I say I spent over 3 hours consecutively running this, dying over and over and over and over, and 90% of those deaths were because of these damn flames. Probably the worst obstacle in the game, and to this day still make me mad even thinking about them. From this and my many more hours beating this on expert, I have concluded that they have no pattern whatsoever. They be jumping at the worst possible times directly where you're going to be. It is wild, man. I felt like they were tracking me. I mean, sometimes the RNG was nice and they would be chill and there wouldn't be really many jumping the whole time, but other times they were just absolutely rampant, non-stop jumping back to back. And then by the time I'd even make it to the last wave, my nerves would be so shot I'd just completely fold. But after almost 4 hours, the flames decided to give me a nice run and I was able to make it through to the end with 2 hits. So I locked right in and tried to time my super art perfectly when this happened. Come on, please, please, please be the end. Yes! Yes, I finally did it! Oh my god, that took me 3.5 hours. 3 hours! Oh my god, I got them both. Holy shit, I got them both. Holy shit, that took me 3 hours. And after spending 4 hours on one boss, I was pretty distraught. I couldn't imagine what was ahead of me next. But sadly, I also need to complete that on Expert and get an A rank. So we'll be seeing my good pal the dragon later. But for now, we move on to Aisle 3, which ups the pain a fair bit, with 7 bosses instead of 5. And the very first one I went in after is Rumor Honeybottoms, which is definitely one of the easiest ones, especially considering I had beaten it within 10 minutes compared to the 3.5 hours on the last. That ending was so easy, what the heck? But I mean, that's how the second one went down as well. Just over 10 minutes and I had it fully down and just bombed through it. But then of course it's back to the pain with Dr. Cal's robot. Yet another one that took me way too long to do. A nice full hour of non-stop runs back to back to back, with just the first wave taking me most of the time to figure out. Having all 3 attacks at once absolutely baffled me for a while, but I eventually figured out to just instantly blow up the middle one with bombs before it can even shoot out. Well, try to at least. And then by the time I hit this last wave, I always had 1 health, and I just ended up getting screwed. I did not have the stamina it took to keep going. But after a lot of practice, I finally got it down in this intense final run with 1 health. Yes, I finally did it. That took me an hour. Oh, man. Holy crap, let's go. Now, thankfully, the next one wasn't terrible, though. I got the first wave down pretty quickly and was just having a lot of trouble getting past the babies dropping bottles on my head. And also the damn mice running around, too. But after just under half an hour, I finished that and unlocked my next mausoleum to get 2 trophies. The first is for getting 5 parries in a row, just like this. Bouncing ball, hey! And the second is just simply for beating it, which unlocks me my final super art, Magician Lord. But that leaves us with 3 bosses left to finish this island, with the shortest of the 3 being this one, coming in at just over half an hour to beat. And I mean 90% of it was just simply because of this stupid second wave with the spinning bottle caps. My brain just couldn't comprehend how to dodge them for the longest time. But of course I eventually beat it. Oh, that was crazy. I got so lucky and all of that. Oh, I got him. Let's go. I didn't even get hit once that time either. And then we got this stupid plane one against this stupid mermaid. I spent the first half of my hour here just getting to understand it. And then once I did and got to this Medusa wave, I just kept non-stop getting turned to stone. And I eventually learned that I could just stay above her head and throw bombs down on her to dodge that part. But how lovely was it for me to find out the last wave was the exact same shit. And it was even worse because I usually always ended up there with 1 hit. And I think this was one of the first things I actually had to look up how to do. And once I did, I figured out I just had to stay up close to her face and the stone thing wouldn't hit me. And that's when I finally got her right about here. Yes! Yes, 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 I did it. And then the final one that also took me an hour is the Phantom Express, which looking back on definitely shouldn't have taken me that much time. But I mean, I did waste the first 20 minutes trying to use only the chaser before realizing that the spread is the way to go. And then the middle wave was super easy to get down, and I just kept getting stuck on these last 2. But I eventually killed these 2 noobs and then made it all the way to the last wave with a really good run. Yes, I did it! A trip downtown! I finally got him! So now we can finally enter the casino. But first, I quickly decided to go through every single run and gun level to get all the coins so I could buy everything out of the shop. You know, just to get a little advantage before I go into the hardest fights. But oh boy, were these last 2 run and gun levels so annoying to get the coins on. I could not stop dying on this first one specifically. But I mean, I still have to get all the pacifist runs on all these levels. So we'll get back into the run and gun levels after. But once I finally collected all the coins after a solid hour and some, I get 2 trophies for doing so. Holy crap, I actually did it. That was crazy. Let's go. Coffer's full. Every single coin in the game. High roller. Oh, and I also went to the store and bought him out of everything he had for this one. But that leaves us with only 2 bosses to defeat the game for the first time. And well, of course, up first is King Dice. And let me tell you, this was daunting to me when I first tried it. I was absolutely terrible, and the fact I had to fight my way through so many bosses threw me off like crazy. So I ended up taking a day break after failing so many times. But I ended up coming back more ready than ever, and I grinded this for hours upon hours until I finally found which bosses I was good at. And I definitely was not good at rolling the dice to what I wanted yet, so that was a big problem. Like the amount of time times I set myself back to the beginning was absolutely heartbreaking. No! That is so terrible. But the final run I went through to win started with the poker chips, since I found them to be super easy. Well, not on expert, but on normal they are. I really ended up liking the cigar more on expert. Anyways, I was always trying to go for number 4 in normal, since that seemed like my next best option to not get hit. I mean, it was slow enough and super easy, and I had it down. Expert's a different story, but that's for later. And then on this one, I kind of screwed up the dice roll and ended up on this plane fight, but luckily I beat that, losing only 1 single health. At least it's not that terrible monkey one. But then finally I went for number 7. Since I used smoke dash, it made this one unbearably easy to go through, just dashing under her legs. But that brings me to the final king dice fight, and I suck at parrying. So here's how that went down. Hey, please give me a 3. Please let me hit a 3. Yes, sir. Alright, if I hit a 1, I'm screwed. There we go. Going in with 4 hits. No. Come on. Please die, please die, please die. Why do my parries never work? Please die, please. Yes, I did it! Casino night, finally! Let's go, man! Let's go! Oh, and I somehow also got an A- on that run, so no going back there until expert for me. But that leaves us with the final fight against the devil. And I was over it at this point, so I said, you know what, screw it. Let's team up with the guy. Nah, I just wanted this trophy out of the way. But then I jumped right back in to beat him. Well, I wish it was that easy. What the heck? This is yet another one that took me over 2 hours of pain. Finally got past the first stage and died instantly. And for the first hour, I was only able to make it to the second wave just a few times. I died. Wait, what? That was so fast. What happened? I just could not get past the first part for the life of me. If it wasn't the damn spinning fireballs, then it was the horribly off-timed hoof slaps that just kept screwing me over and over again. And it wasn't until about an hour and a half in that I finally was consistently getting to the second area. And honestly, this area is for sure the easiest of all of them. But I just kept dying on the third one because I was always too panicky by then. But eventually I was able to finally make it to the last wave. And after reaching it for the first couple times, this eventually happened. Yes, got the bomb. Let's go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I still am at 2 hits. Come on. Bunch of free hits. Bunch of free hits here. Get the... Oh, that damn poker chip. No, the spinning blade thing. It's okay. I'm at the end. I got invincibility. Yes! 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 I finally did it! I beat the game! Swing, you sinner. Now, sadly, I didn't get an A rank on this one, although I was super close with a B, but I did get another gold trophy. Souls saved for beating the game on normal, which means now I have to beat it on expert to get that trophy. Yay! But first I went back into the devil fight quickly, because since I already had gotten an A on King Dice, getting 1 here will get me another trophy, and it's still fresh on my brain, so I figured I should do it now. And while you'd think, oh, he just beat that fight with a B, he's got this. No, I don't. I was here for a whole other hour and a half to get this damn A rank, and I just barely finally got it even with only 1 single health left. And well, here's how that went. Yes, I did it! Oh my god, 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 I finally did it! That took me an hour and a half after beating it the first time. Holy shit. So now I was on to my next 2 tasks, which were beating the game on expert and also getting an A rank on every boss in the game. And I figured it would work best if I went through the bosses on expert first. So then once I went down to regular, I could get the A rank super easy. And well, I was correct on that. But what I didn't realize is that playing on expert felt like I was learning the fights all over again on some of them. Like this frog one, for example. I didn't have too much trouble with it the first time, but on expert, I just couldn't get past the slot machine phase for the longest time. Every single time I got here, I'd just die. Everything was so much faster and had way more health. But being on the first island, I figured it would be the best place to get the S rank as well, since the root pack was by far the easiest fight in the game for me. And I was exactly correct. I mean, only a couple fails, but I was able to get the S rank super fast and easy on this one, getting me my next trophy. Yes, it was the S rank, put on a show. And at this point, the rest of World 1 was pretty easy for me on both the A ranks and the expert fights. I mean, the A rank on Goopy was kind of annoying, but other than that, I had no problems with the rest. Like the final one only took me a couple tries here. Oh, let's go. I got the A rank. What was that? Second try on this one? A rank on all bosses on aisle 1. But that moves us into aisle 2. And while this here is what I was working with, I accidentally deleted the footage of me beating the first one, but I can assure you the expert had me pissed right off. Those damn candy corns again. But anyway, we'll skip over the next two since they were super easy. And that leaves me with an A rank and the expert to get on Grim Matchstick, my actual arch nemesis for life now. And while I already spent 3 hours here before, but with this, we're stacking it up to 6 hours total. I actually hate this fight. Yet again, those damn jumping flames ruined my life. Multiple times. So many times, in fact, I started losing my shit.
Pinwheels in my head! Voices! Angry fish!
And the first half of my time was just spent trying to finally get the expert run down. And by the time I beat it, I was just completely flustered. Yes. Oh my god, I finally did it. Oh my god. And then it was time to go back in for the A rank. And it took me a whole nother hour and a half yet again. I just could not get it. But I kept pushing on and on and on and eventually decided to switch over to the lobber. And that completely changed my life in this last wave. I was always getting screwed over by the flame balls before, but now I had them down. I wish I would have done that earlier. Oh, I actually got the A rank with 1 health? I hate this guy so much. Oh, I got the time limit. That saved my ass. Let's go, man. But that sends us on our way over to aisle 3 for these 7 bosses now. But first I needed a quick break, so I decided to go back for Bravo Zulu P26, which is for defeating a boss using only mini plain bullets. And since it can be done on simple, it was fairly easy. I mean, it takes a long time to actually get the kill since the bullets are super weak and they don't have much range, but it only took me a few tries until I got this run down. Yes, I did it! Bravo Zulu P26. It's nice to see a trophy, it's been a while. But let's get back into aisle 3 now. And since this one has so many bosses, I decided to get the easier ones done first. And I mean, they definitely weren't easy, just easier than these other ones. But focusing on the two I had the worst times with here, we'll start with Dr. Cal's robot. Yet again, I had a terrible time doing this one. And there wasn't any specific part. I felt like the whole fight changed from the first wave all the way to the last, making everything so much harder. And then this last wave here just goes so damn fast compared to the last time. But I was definitely right about doing expert first in the A rank after, because every time I switched over it felt so easy on regular and I was able to get it done within a few tries. Yes, that has to be the A. I have 3 health. That has to be. Screw you, doctor, whatever. I hate you. I hate that guy. I hate him so much. Let's go. Only one more A to get in the game. But the very last one, yet again, is Phantom Express. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't have too much trouble with the expert here. Oh, yes, I did it. There we go. That didn't take too long. It was more getting the A rank that I couldn't do. 1 health off again, I'm guessing. It's gonna be, yep, B+. Even with the extra health charm on. But about 10 retries in, and I had finally gotten to the train with 3 hits left. Let's fucking go, man! Mayor! Let's go! But now that leaves King Dice on expert and the Devil on expert. And once they're done, I'll finally have accomplished this feat I did not think I would be able to do. So I started out with King Dice, and I had spent about an hour here trying to learn all the enemies. But I was feeling so burnt out, so I switched over to the Devil fight to try that. And oh man, am I glad I did. It didn't really seem much harder on expert to me, to be honest. I literally beat it within my first 4 tries. I really don't think anything changed besides it being maybe a little bit faster. Yes, I did it! Oh, that didn't take long. Let's go. Now it's just King Dice left. But that means I couldn't put it off any longer, because King Dice is all that's left. So like before, I just spent a while getting to learn my bosses, and which ones I could do the easiest. And after a solid hour, I had that end dice rolling down, which was a big bonus for me. And the path I figured best to start off with an expert went with 3 first, since I found the cigar to be super easy and I could get through it every time without even getting hit. And I mean, hitting retry a few times to make sure I got an extra health from it never hurt nobody. But then for the next, I would go for number 5 against the rabbit, which was yet again beyond easy. Just hitting the parry screwed me sometimes. But anyhow, the last one was of course the 8-ball, because I mean, come on, you barely have to do anything here. But that finally brings us to King Dice. And like I said, I suck at parrying. And since this one requires multiple waves of it, I was was having a fair bit of troubles. I saved up my super every single time, and even then I just couldn't get close to the end. So I just had to keep retrying it multiple times to practice the parrying, so I could finally get a grip on it right at the end of the game. But way too much time later, here is the final run. Holy shit, I did it! Holy shit, I did it! Holy shit, game is done on expert. That took me 4.5 hours. Oh my god. Now I also had to do one more thing here at King Dice, which I saved until I was good at fighting him. I had to finish the fight with 3 health still remaining, and while after all that BS on regular, it was nothing to me, and only 3 tries in is when this happened. Why is he glitched? What's happening? What just happened? I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't even care. I'll take it. Give me that trophy. Thank you for the glitch, game. That's amazing. But that leaves us with one final trophy to get this platinum. Pacifist runs. And I left these for last because they honestly sounded pretty deadly. But with all the skills I've accumulated, they turned out to be so much easier than I thought. Especially since I already got every single coin from them. Like the first one was literally done on my 5th try. Yes, I did get it. Sweet. And of course they got harder as you go. So number 2 was a bit worse, but I was done that within 10 minutes and on to number 3, which I thought was going to be terrible. But it turns out all I had to do was make sure I got 5 parries right at the start and I could cheese this whole area using invincibility. Then all I had to do was waste my health diving through the mini bosses on my way to the end. I mean, I died at this hot dog one time, but whatever. Oh, I jumped over his head. But the next was a whole different story. I hate the flipping sides of the screen. It screws me up so much. But just like the last, I had to collect 5 parries off the rip from these ducks, and then basically dive bomb my way through while dodging everything and flipping sides of the screen all at once. Pretty terrible. And it took me about 20 minutes until I finally got this lucky free run through to the end. And now for the final 2. These are so terrible to go through, and it's so hard to not hit an enemy. Like for this one, every jump has to be timed and landed so perfectly to be able to get through. And then once you do, there's a whole elevator ride where enemies just do not stop spawning. But I mean, as soon as I could figure those parts out, I was home free with the last platforming part. It's done. It's over. I got it. Yes. And then unlike any others, we have this terrible one with the stupid flying fish. And it also took me the combined time of every other pacifist run together. Even starting with 5 health was barely ever enough to even get halfway for me. Either the flying fish or the spiky things, it was always something, like damn Larry the Lobster over here. But the final thing I could just never ever get done was this last octopus ride. I knew how close I was to the platinum and my nerves would just shoot through the roof, resulting in, well, this. And I eventually was consistently getting to the octopus, but I still just could not get it down. Well, until this finally happened. Damn it, there goes number 2. Yes, did I do it? Oh my god. Oh my god, the invisibility actually saved my ass that time. Pacifist, let's go. Oh my god. Grand up for oh my god. Holy shit. This platinum was my hardest ever. Oh, that was so brutal. That took me like 40 plus hours. This was probably one of the hardest games I've ever played in my life, to be honest. But I've still got DLC to do, so I'll be dropping another video with that next week. But that was 4 platinums on some of the best platformers. But of course there's still some more out there, so comment below with what your favorite platformer is and maybe you'll see it in my next video. But there was a lot that went into me making this video, so thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like down below. And also maybe subscribe so you don't miss the next one. You can also watch my last platformer video right here. But again, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.